What do you think will happen in 2024? Sadly, the Russian aggression against Ukraine will continue. Russia has already earmarked several times more money for the war for 2024 than Ukraine will ever get, and even that's under question thanks to GOP using it to strong-arm Democrats into accepting their immigration policies. And in Europe they got Orban spouting Putin's agenda and pushing back against any effort to aid Ukraine. And if, God forbid but far from impossible, he is re-elected, he'll probably push for cutting all aid to Ukraine and giving Putin whatever he wants and insist that he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for that. Nothing. Israel will continue bombing Gaza into the Stone Age. Ukraine will probably concede or die trying. I'll continue to look for work. China will escalate rhetoric over Taiwan in the South China Sea while the US conducts FONOP. NK will throw more tantrums. Iran may get more involved as Gaza continues towards the Stone Age. And its satellite enemy of my enemy is my friend relationships built between Iran and the multi-axis of Jewry. The US will continue to devolve into wokeness, fall further from grace. By November we'll find out after fucking around so much. Civil war will break out around the presidential election. With Colorado taking Trump off the primary ballot and people being completely unable to look at things objectively and only siding with whichever team they're on, I can see anyway that the election ends in anything but complete disaster regardless of who wins. Both sides firmly believe that the other side will do anything they can to win and they each have their own examples to point at to prove their point. The US is fucked and I really wish I could move to another country. Two things. Firstly, people who are in tune with space stuff aren't prepared for how many Starship launches there'll be. Already it looks like the cadence has dropped from 7 months to likely 2 or 3. It's gonna get crazy. Secondly, Biden will win the election. Trump's polling better right now but it's because he's filling the spot of generic Republican. Once he's back on TV every day his numbers will drop. Biden will win and the Dems will secure the House. Ukraine will prevail over the Putin menace. Russia will collapse. Middle East will stalemate. China will not invade Taiwan. Trump will be found guilty of insurrection and suffer the consequences. There will be no MAGA uprising. Earth will experience its hottest year yet, and the electrical grid will be severely challenged. The Dodgers will win the World Series. As someone who wants to leave the Mormon Church, I think high-demand religions will have a bigger shrinkage next year. I don't know if the Mormon Church will ever go, but I feel like it might shrink even more, like less and less. I feel like churches like Scientology, Mormon Church and others will get taxed too, but that's just me hoping. More people will learn they have long COVID and that every COVID infection lowers your immune system's ability to fight things it would normally not have a problem with. It's a quiet disabling that society is not ready for. We're already seeing it in moms groups where everyone is wondering why everyone is sick more often. Civil unrest, domestic terrorism, threats and violence against political figures, minorities, and activists, and flare-up of white nationalist violence. Stochastic terrorist voices, social media, and sensationalism media will be the engines of it. After all, it's election year and this will be the new norm going forward. America will have a terrible mass shooting where everyone gives thoughts and prayers and says enough is enough. But nothing changes. Also, I hope Trump in a jumpsuit, but I'm not holding my breath. Not even political, I just want to retain the belief that anyone who commits crimes deserves to be prosecuted and punished. Biden will get re-elected unless Trump's off the ballot. Millennials outnumber baby boomers now and have the largest voting power and are currently the largest generation living. And polls don't mean crap to millennials. They throw mail in the trash and they don't have landlines and they don't answer the phone. Major instabilities in the Middle East. China matches West in semiconductor manufacturing and evading sanctions on chips. Ukraine conflict stalemate continues. Oil prices increase. Nvidia attempts to be the leader in cloud computing. AI won't be self-aware, fusion power still no breakthrough, Tesla stocks drop. Many, predominantly rural health systems, will have layoffs, a handful will declare bankruptcy and insurance premiums will be awful this year while more treatment types are hit with higher co-pays. Also, I'm predicting the health insurance industry will seek a bailout by 2027 and rural health systems by 2026. 1. Rich will get richer. 2. Poor will be put under richness fallacy by a subtle revision to their incomes to easy out pressure of inflation without any real wealth creation. 3. A new papacy. 4. Failure of Chinese economy. 5. Another pandemic wave, thought not as bad as previous ones. 6. I will be getting married. There is going to be more homeless with the high cost of housing and the stagnant wages. More money is going to go help other countries while we have homeless families, even with working parents, living out of hotels. CEOs are going to buy their third vacation home while their workers get served eviction. The world is on the brink of tearing itself apart. Rich versus poor, right versus left, racism and war all over the place. Even the stuff that starts out well goes too far and causes even more of a divide. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't foresee anything good in 2024. More unraveling of American decency. Trump is going to ramp up his madness in hopes of recapturing the White House and halting all legal consequences for his lifelong illegal activities. A good portion of the population is in his back pocket, so we all better hang on. Facebook will be held to account for selling merchandise from organized retail theft, and Amazon will be criticized for profiting from people not wanting to shop where everything's locked up and prices raised because of said theft. Or maybe not. More something personal, but I don't think my dog will make it. She is around 18 now, she will turn 19. Although I said the same about her last year, so hopefully I will be pleasantly surprised and my dog barks off death for another year. I got to die in 24. There have been way too many times I should have died, and one time I did die by losing 8 pints of blood and shattering my pelvis. I don't even know how I got to 2023. 2024 is no doubt the year. No, I'm not suicidal. My sister will move in with me in my hobby and I should be able to pay off 50 of my debt by end of year. Thank you to all the work friends who taught me how to use my work benefits and understand WTF all this paperwork means. FRFR3. There will be a massive internet outage which will affect most countries in Asia such as India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Philippines, Thailand, and Iran due to poor internet maintenance, and the internet outage will last 48 hours. 1. I will max my HSA for the first time. 2. I will up my 401k contribution. 3. I will save for a down payment on a house. 4. I will be a special agent for the FBI. 5. I will finish my master's degree. 6. I will fight for a promotion. Knowing my country and my country's current political leaders, I'm just going to assume more of the same BS in the last years in the USA. I fear for my country and everyone who works with the US at every political level. Some storms will cause damage. People will die, including some celebrities. 1 or 2 might be a huge surprise. Someone will win the US presidential election. Wars will continue. New COVID variants. Record heat waves will likely be heading into war. Mass movements of military groups into stations near Gaza are occurring as we speak. Dems are not supporting Biden, and Trump, if he gets into office, is obvious. The Middle East begins a new war with more US involvement. The US election will be contested with violence as the Supreme Court declared Trump the winner. Toys R Us reopened stores nationwide. Media sensationalism about World War III, Civil War, the collapse of the economy, racial tensions, the election etc. All while the rich continue to find new ways to transfer wealth to themselves. The US will allow Israel to provoke Iran to the extent of reaction. At which point the US will use this as an excuse to launch an attack on Iran on a scale not seen this century. 2024 is the highest I'm willing to count. Shit's nerve-wracking. Like Jesus, how high will it go? I'm petitioning to start counting backwards until we're in the 90s again. The US will have another mediocre year. 2025, however, start stocking up on things you want, a few months to a year's worth. Things will start to get hard to come by. I'm going to lose something again after placing it somewhere and telling myself that I specifically put it there so that I wouldn't forget where I put it. England will win Euro 2024 hopefully. In all seriousness, it will be interesting on how our general election will go down as we elect a new prime minister. China will take Taiwan, Americans will elect a Republican president. Democrats will take the House. Avicii-style country EDM will be the dominant sound. AI deepfake technology will reach a point where it will be indistinguishable from actual videos, and the age of disinformation continues with new horizons. Large stock market correction, but not in May when all the experts seem to think it will happen. Platinum up 40 by year's end, silver over $30 an ounce. It will be the hottest year in record, again. Then 2025 will beat it. Then 2026 will beat 2025. Every year will be the hottest in record from now on. Another year will pass and the trust fund toddler will still be crying about anything and everything, but he still won't have spent any time in jail. The elites will get mad at each other and send lower class sons and fathers to die over insignificant issues 5,000 miles away. That's my prediction. Though the prospect terrifies me, that Trump will gain the White House again. Military in the streets to put down protesters and so much more. More wars. More burning of oil. The rich will get richer. The poor will get poorer. Europe will drown in illegal immigrants. Rinse and repeat. Rep TV will be released hopefully, folded hands. Yes, if this is such a bold prediction. Also 2023 will be over by then. Once again, another bold prediction. 10 average months made memorable by exceptional climate events leading up to not being able to turn your TV on from Election Day February 2025. What I hope will happen is that there will be a record turnout and everyone will get out and vote the extremist Republicans out of office. Some bigger volcano will erupt. Maybe that's why all those rich people are buying compounds. I don't know if they are called like that. Quantum advantage will be achieved. Computers powering quantum AI models will probably roll out the same day at the FBI and in China. Home Assistant, a smart home automation platform, will become so widely accessible that it will be recommended by anyone to anyone. The worst presidential election in the US history. Buckle up guys! It's going to be ugly, especially if the traitor somehow wins. Famine in a few parts of the West as politicians don't seem to know how farming works. Plus Europe shut all its fertilizer plants. Another pandemic election will get fucked up, everyone will be mad. We will still be screwed, taxed to death and more inflation. In 2024 engineers start really defining basic notions like free will, consciousness, humanity. Now that will never happen. Riots following the election. People complaining about the conditions of everything but doing nothing to protect their rights.